Alright, hello, welcome back to my channel. I'm playing golf with your friends with my sister, and we are talking about dating and relationships. So, here we go. Hello?
Hello.
Hello, okay. So, I'm going to change to a different course. Now we're going to do Pirate Cove. You ready?
Okay. Yep.
Okay, and we are currently talking about dating and relationships. In the last video, Holly detailed all of her relationships. And so I guess it's my turn.
Yeah.
So I did not date in elementary school. I did not date in middle school. I will tell you, in 6th grade, I was in, oh shit, I forgot to plug my controller back in. In 6th grade, I was in band, and there were 2 boys on percussion. One was, well, there was 3. There was a guy that I knew that I had we had lived by him when I was younger, and so we knew each other. We were, friendly. And then there were 2 other boys who came from different schools that I did not know. And all 3 of them were the percussionists in the band. And I was in the band as well, and I played the flute. Well, I don't know, 2nd week of school, I'd say, the kid that I knew came up to me and asked me if I would go out with one of the kids. Well, one of them was really good looking. The other one I wasn't so into. But the problem was I didn't know which was which. And instead of just asking him, is that the brunette or the blonde, I didn't want to admit that I didn't know their names. So I just said no, and it turned out to be the good looking one.
Oh.
I know. And by then I couldn't go back. I couldn't be like, yeah, change my mind. I didn't know it was the good looking one. I thought it was a weird face guy. So, and I don't want to give hair colors and say, I highly doubt that either one of these guys ever remember that, will ever find this channel, or will ever know, but I don't want the one to know that he was, well, you know what, I guess he knows they know which one asked me out and which one didn't, so I guess if they ever found it, they would know, but they probably wouldn't remember, because I'm not using any names. Are you not going? What is happening?
Oh, I'm so sorry. Callie wanted to video chat with her friend.
Oh, so you were helping her.
I started setting that up and just completely blanked. I'm sorry.
I was like, is that my ball or your ball? I was so confused.
Oh gosh, I'm not even gonna, this is such an easy hole and I'm gonna fail it because I was just totally zoned out.
That's okay. But yeah, that was the first time that I was ever officially asked out. And then from that point on, no one asked me out. I don't know if people ever liked me, but I don't think that they would have asked me out because I was very clearly the girl that wasn't interested in dating anyone.
Oh, yeah.
And it's true. I wasn't. I didn't have any interest in having a boyfriend. I never was somebody who needed to have a boyfriend.
Right.
And even if I had crushes on people, it wasn't enough to really want to date them. And then what?
I was just going to say, yeah, that was me. That was why in 4th grade when I got asked out, it freaked me out so much. Because I was like,
yeah.
No, I don't want a boyfriend. I just want to admire you.
Right, exactly. So then, after Dad died, even then I still wasn't really interested in dating. I hung out with a bunch of guys, and I hung out with girls, but I didn't want to date any of them. Well, then my friends convinced me to go out with my first boyfriend, and he was a year younger than me. And literally our relationship didn't last very long, and definitely did not, go beyond hand holding and maybe a kiss, because this kid I didn't know at the time because I was literally a 14-year-old kid, but this child had the worst case of clinical depression I think I've probably ever seen. He did not leave his bed.
Oh.
And eventually he ended up needing more help than I could supply in my 14-year-old age. So he ended up getting the help that he needed, and I'm pretty sure at one point him and his dad just moved away. I genuinely don't know whatever happened to him. I've never thought to look him up or anything.
Why? Did I ever meet this person?
No, you never met him. He literally didn't leave his bed. I'm not exaggerating.
Oh.
You would not have known him. We did not date very long. He was not anything really all that serious. Well, then there was, it might have actually been this boyfriend. Yeah, this had to be. And then him and I broke up, but we kind of did an on and off thing sometimes because he was horribly depressed, but then like he would want to date me again, but like it just, you know, this kind of went on and on for probably about 6 months, I'd say, because I must have been during the school year that him and I were dating, not in the summer. So I must have been 15 already, actually, not 14, 15, because I turned 15 that summer. And so, you know, we kind of dated on and off during the school year, but because he was in 8th grade and I was in 9th, I didn't ever see him at school. I would only see him after school.
Oh, yeah.
He lived in that place across from where we lived, where we always hung out.
Oh, yeah.
And so that's where I always saw him. And I would hang out with my friends, and I'd like stop at his house briefly to visit his bed. That sounds bad, but not like that. Visit the bed that he literally never left because he was severely depressed.
Yeah.
And other than that, I really didn't like hang out with him because, you know, he didn't leave his freaking room.
Yeah.
And so we sorry. But there was that, like, it must have been by the end of that summer, there was another guy who was trying to date me. And I had been like politely blowing him off because I genuinely did not want to date him, but he was my friend, so I didn't want to be mean.
Yeah.
And him and I don't know if the guy was my boyfriend, ex-boyfriend, what he was. He must have been ex-boyfriend at that time. Decided to fist fight over me.
Oh, no.
And
I remember so many fist fights in our front yard. Go on.
This was actually in the trailer. Yeah, in the trailer park. I guess I just said it, so I'll just say it.
Well, I mean, there's lots of
now, I am going to use a name for this one because this is funny and he's not going to care if I say his name. Joel was standing there watching these kids fight, and I'm just standing there completely unimpressed because to me fighting over me was disgusting and not worth your time. So Joel's standing there and he says, "Are they fighting over you?" And I was like, "Yup." And he was like, "Well, why don't you say fuck both of them and date me instead?" And I was like, "Okay." And him and I walked away while the fight was still in progress. And that was how I dated Joel the first time.
Oh, that's fabulous.
So he was, I guess, technically my second boyfriend. And I definitely was way too immature to date. Like, I was not willing to do anything beyond kissing. I was not mature enough. I was not, none of that.
Yeah, that was me.
Yeah. And so, like, I dated, you know, I dated Joel, and then I dated the couple people that I dated after Joel, and I had one relationship that lasted a while, like 9 months. I had one that lasted actually quite a while. It was probably almost a year, but the reason that one lasted as long as it did is because the guy that I was dating only came to see his dad every other weekend.
Yeah.
So we would just hang out on the weekends.
Yeah.
And then we ended up splitting up. And then eventually, when I was 16, turning 17, my little sister was dating a guy that she should not have been dating because he was like almost 18 years old and she was 13. But she was dating him, and he happened to have this group of friends that were always like at my house with him. I had just broken up with the boyfriend that I dated for 9 months. We had just split up. Do you remember which boyfriend that is, Holly? The 9-month boyfriend?
Was that I don't even know how to say it without blonde?
Yep. That's the one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what I thought. Yeah, I thought he was like the one that you dated when you were 15, 16 years old.
We were 16, yeah. We dated for 9 months. Well, we dated twice. The first time was shorter, and then the next time was 9 months.
Yeah, I remember him very vividly because literally everybody in the house had a crush on him.
I know, it's so funny. And literally everybody, even Mom.
Yeah. Yeah, even Mom.
But
in the least creepy way possible.
Right. Well, and he was still my friend. He stayed my friend, and yeah, you need to like get a cool cloth, child. You can go get a fan from upstairs and bring it down in the living room if you want to, if it's too hot in there. But anyway, we had split up, and I, again, was not looking to date someone. I literally had just ended a relationship. And my little sister had all these guys that were constantly at our house because she was dating this boy, and he always brought his friends over. And
Was that W?
W. No! Oh, no. This was B.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. I'm not even bringing up W because W is a terrible, like, I like the guy. He was my friend, but that whole situation was messed up. She was 12.
Unbelievably wrong and creepy. Yeah.
She was freaking 12. But no, I mean, she was 13 with this guy, and he was nearly 18, so it's just as bad. But no, this was B. I'm talking about the E relationship. My relationship with E is where I'm going with this one.
Oh, okay.
And so my sister's boyfriend had these two, well, this big group of friends, but two of them particularly that would always try to talk to me, especially this one who was a brunette. It was a brunette and a blonde. And the brunette would always try to talk to me. And I was so rude to this guy. I don't know why he even spoke to me. Like, I would literally look at him and say, "Why are you talking to me?" And him and the blonde guy were kind of in like this sort of competition over me. Like, they both were trying to date me, and I was violently clear on the fact that I did not want to date either one of them. But after a while, basically they would just invite me to smoke pot with them. So, like, I became friendly with them, but, like, just friendly. Like, I still didn't want to date either one of them. And this kid pursued me for so long. Eventually he wore me down, and I ended up dating him for almost 3 years. And that was my first serious boyfriend. Like, we lived together and everything. And, like, I literally still called his mother even when my oldest son was born. I was still calling this guy's mother to say hello and check on her, and like we were super, like, and that relationship was good. It was a good relationship. It only ended because I had severe anxiety, and he started doing drugs that I was not okay with him doing. Story of my freaking life, man.
Yeah.
But
I know, right?
seriously, it's like I have a. Oh, thank you. I needed that.
Oh, you're welcome.
But so that relationship, I have to say, was probably one of my favorites out of all the relationships. Like, that dude.
I really liked him so much.
Yeah, he was awesome. And, like, even still this day, I just saw him a couple of years ago at a memorial, and he still is just an awesome guy.
He's one of those ones that always has he just felt like a big brother to me. Like,
yes,
he treated me like a little sister.
exactly. Yeah, I really love that guy. That guy's awesome. But so after that relationship ended, I was 19, and at that point, I just kind of like casually dated two other people that were my sister's boyfriend's friends. But neither one went anywhere because they were not great people, and it was literally just the boyfriend saying, "Hey, I've got this friend who's single, will you go out with him?"
Yeah.
And they both sucked. And then I ended up, I had 3 jobs at the time. I spent a lot of time hanging out with my best friend because she had just had a baby, and her daughter was super premature, so I was always up at the hospital hanging out with her, not hanging out, helping her take care of her daughter, because the dad just bounced. He was like, "Oh, we were together for 7 years, and now your baby's premature. Our baby's premature. I'm just gonna ditch you." I hate that guy.
Yeah.
But so I still to this day, that her daughter's about to turn 22, and I still to this day hate that guy.
Well, he missed out because
He sure did, because she is amazing.
great.
But anyway, so I really was not looking for any sort of super serious relationship, but because me and my best friend decided to get jobs together, two of my 3 jobs that I had was working with my best friend. And so I ended up dating one of our coworkers at one of the jobs. And next thing you know, I'm pregnant with Matthew. And that relationship lasted about 2 years. Although we split up for most of my pregnancy because, well, I won't talk about it because that's my son's family, so I'll be nice, but
Oh my
we-
gosh.
I just want to go off. You don't even know. But
Yeah. Me too.
I get along with these people now, 20 years later, so I'll be nice. But anyway, his father and I did not work out because we just should not have been together. We're much better as co-parents. We get along great now. He literally like talks to my kids all the time. He bought them Christmas presents. Like he calls me up just to
he's a
gossip.
great
Like he's amazing, but he is not somebody that I could have stayed in a relationship with. And then
Yeah, you guys just don't work that way.
exactly. And then after Matthew's dad and I split up, I refused to date anyone. I was like, I'm not freaking dating. No way. I do not want anything to do with relationships. And then about a year after, people at work would not quit harassing me that I just needed to date. I was only 20, what was I, 22? I needed to be dating, blah, 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 blah. So finally, I started casually dating this guy at work, and he was the worst. And I didn't date him for very long. He's still, like, if you talk to this guy now, he will tell you that we dated for over a year and we were so in love. And I'm like, buddy, we dated for barely 3 months and you spent 90% of that time with my roommate.
I remember this person.
Oh, yeah, his name started with a K, and he was the worst.
I don't remember him.
Yeah, I'm not sure if you ever even knew
Special.
him. I'm not sure if you ever even knew this guy. I don't even
That's
think
crazy
you...
because I spent a lot of time.
I know. That tells you how little time him and I spent together. We mostly
Yeah.
were just, like, saw each other at work, and he would, like, literally take off for the weekend with my roommate.
Oh, fun. Okay.
Yeah, my roommate was dating his brother. My roommate was not, like, it wasn't like that. She was dating his brother, and they would go out to his brother's house.
Well, yeah, I didn't think your roommate would do that.
Well, no, but it sounds to other people like
Yeah,
like
yeah,
that's
that's
what
true.
she was doing, and she was not. She's a wonderful person who I'm still to this day good friends with. But then, after that guy was like, yeah, I'm not dating people at all. What was I thinking? And then, I had this great thing going with me and my roommate. Her name was Sam. She was an amazing person. And her and I had this routine where we would, oh, please don't fall down. Oh, good. Oh, wait, do I want it to fall down?
I have no idea where you want to go.
I might want to go.
Oh, you bumped me. Thanks.
You're welcome. Oh, I see where we're supposed to go. But so me and my roommate Sam had this thing where it actually started on her 21st birthday. Her friends all blew her off. So I offered, because me and Matthew's dad had a nice custody agreement where he would take Matthew every other Saturday overnight and then every Wednesday overnight. That was like his whole, like that was all that he took him for. And so every other Saturday and every Sunday, I would take, because on her 21st birthday, her friends blew her off, so I took her to the bar for her first legal drink. And then after that, we would go every other Saturday and every Wednesday, we would go to a bar that was literally just right across from our apartment. And we didn't really drink a whole lot, but we would shoot pool. And we had this male coworker who had a girlfriend and was not like interested in dating either one of us, but just really liked to shoot pool. So he would join us, and that would keep guys from hitting on us because we had a guy with us. And this guy's name was also Matt, but it was a completely different Matt. Super sweet guy, and we just had tons of fun. Well, then me and my roommate switched shifts at work. And the week before we switched shifts, the weekend before, we went to my best friend at the time's husband, well, he wasn't her husband yet, but fiance's 21st birthday party. And they introduced me to this guy that they worked with named Bob. He's getting a name.
Yeah.
And I was just kind of like, right away, he was like complimenting Matthew, like my kid, like on his behavior. And I was like, he's literally just, this is his auntie's house. Like, what, of course he's being fine. Like, what do you expect? He knows these people. This is his aunt
Right.
and his cousin. But he, or cousins, I guess, because Lexi was already born, right? Yeah, Lexi was already born too. But he, so, they introduced me to this guy and told me that he worked the same shift.
Wait,
And
was
when
Lexi
I
already born?
started, what?
Was Lexi already born?
Yeah, Lexi was already born because she's 18. Matthew's 19.
Oh. Okay,
So-
go on.
Yeah, Lexi was born when we were working there.
Okay.
It was Milo that was born after.
Oh
But
yeah. Okay.
yeah. But anyway, so as you know, as I start working this new shift, same place but new shift, everybody starts trying to get me to date this guy who I didn't want to date because he was way older than me, and I just didn't want to date people. And I don't know, he seemed like he was trying too hard. Long story short, my best friend begged me and begged me and begged me, convinced me to date this guy. I dated him. We ended up getting married. We had 2 children, and now we're divorced.
And now you know where that's at.
Yep, and that relationship was something else.
I have a few things that I thought about mentioning.
Okay.
One is about when you first started dating Matthew's dad.
Mm-hmm.
I could say his name, can't I?
Yeah. I don't care if you say Matt. I'm not saying anything
Okay.
bad about Matt.
Yeah. When you first started dating Matt, I thought it was so funny because I hadn't met him,
Mhm.
and that was when, in the previous video, I talked about that, the like bad boy
Mhm.
that I dated for a while. Well, that was I was 12, and that was
Mhm.
during a phase where me and my first boyfriend had split up,
Mhm.
and we had broken up for like a month, I think, at that point.
Mhm.
And so I was kind of casually dating the kid who lived on our street,
Mhm.
and we were on the porch. It was like late. It was like midnight, and Mom didn't know I was out there, but she didn't really pay a lot of attention. So,
Right.
I was just sitting on the porch with a group of friends. We were hanging out,
Jump.
and I was just sitting there, like
Oh,
literally just making out with this kid. And we all of a sudden, some guy just comes walking out of our house, and I was like, "Hi," and he just stopped in his tracks and stared at me, and we just stared at each other for a few seconds, and he's like, "Hi," and I'm like, "Are you here with Tony?" And he's like, "Yeah," and I'm like, "Oh, nice to meet you," and he's, "Oh yeah, you too," and it was just like super awkward, and then that was the first time I ever met Matt.
That is so funny.
He ran into me like 12-year-old me, just like making out with some kid out on the porch, and he came out probably after just impregnating you, to be honest.
Was it Christmas?
I don't remember, but yeah, it was it was fun.
That is
And then
so
next
funny.
thing I know, we were having Matthew. So,
Right.
but it was pretty. It was a pretty fun first meeting. I thought it was cute, and then also, I was going to mention that I forgot that I actually dated for like a week, because you said something about somebody only seeing their dad every other weekend, and that's when you hung out.
Mhm.
That was kind of actually the same deal with me and this one kid that I dated for like a while in the summer.
Mhm.
He was only at his dad's house on the weekends over across the street. So we kind of like casually knew each other because we had ran into each other a few times. But every single time we hung out, he got a text from his ex-girlfriend and had to like run and help her with something.
Oh, that's annoying.
Yeah, and I just kind of ignored it the first like 5 times, and then eventually I was like, "Hey,
Give you.
do you want to just go be with her again? Like, it's really okay.
Right.
We're not that serious. It's not."
I don't think I forgot anybody that I dated, but now I'm like, well, because like I dated Joel like 65 times. Like Joel and I
Yeah.
were on and off forever.
Which is so funny to me because I never thought of you and Joel that way, even if you were dating. Like,
Yeah.
it was just never.
I don't think I ever thought of me and Joel that way, if we're being honest. Which is,
I think it was just like Joel was somebody you were comfortable with, so it felt like a comfortable thing.
well, and Joel like always wanted me to date him again, even after we broke up. So like, you know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
it was more like I just whatever. Ugh. But yeah.
Either way, he's a good guy. So
Yeah, Joel's awesome. I still to this day talk to Joel all the time.
I haven't talked to him in a long time, which makes me sad.
Oh, I
should do
talk to
that.
him all the time. Like he checks up on me. Him and Jen are the 2 people who check up on me the most out of anybody.
I love that.
Mm-hmm.
That's
why they're my
And
besties.
I just want to point out too that like I had a boyfriend who I saw sometimes at that one teen club that I went to.
Oh, mm-hmm.
I didn't date him, but we had a standing like dance every single time we went every
Aw,
weekend.
that's
And that
cute.
was just the cutest thing.
That
Like,
is super
I
cute.
don't even remember this kid's name, but I remember his face, and he was always so polite and so sweet to me. And he never was creepy. He never even asked me out. It was just an unspoken thing that we would have one dance together every time we went, and it was really
Aw,
nice.
that's sweet. I hope he
Yeah.
has a fond memory of that too. Yeah,
I know, me too.
I think that I named everybody that I dated. If there's anybody I forgot, whatever. Clearly, I literally only had 3 actual serious relationships, and that was
Yeah.
the E guy, whose name I'm not going to say his first name, Matthew's
Yep.
father, and my husband that I was with for 16 years. That's
Well,
it.
see,
Those are my only serious relationships.
You know what's funny is I'll just real quick. I remember 2 more things I was gonna say. One was I dated M, who was my first boyfriend's best friend.
Yep.
I dated him for like literally a day,
Mm-hmm.
but we always kind of had like a mutual crush.
Yeah.
Even throughout like the whole time I was literally dating his best friend. It was
Mhm.
kind of messed up. And then also I
He
didn't say
was a
anything
sweet
about when I
kid, though.
dated. I didn't say anything about dating Jay.
Oh yeah, you didn't even mention dating Jay.
I just
Holy
said I
shit,
met
you
him.
didn't even mention your own husband.
So real quick, I'll just cover that real quick. We met I had no interest in date. I didn't even talk about the creep that I dated. I don't want to make this have to be a part 3, but I didn't even talk about this kid.
What creep?
So right before Jay, we might have to do another course.
Okay, yeah, let's do another course. Sorry
Okay.
guys, this is going to be an extra long video.
Yeah, you get to hear about this is actually the most interesting part almost. I don't know why I forgot about this.
Well then maybe we should make it a 3rd video.
Okay, we can make it a 3rd video for fun.
Okay, hold on. I'm going to dash down and mute and end real quick.
Okay.
All right, guys. So I'm going to end it here, and we'll do another video where my sister talks about what I don't know the story, so we can learn it together. So like, comment, subscribe, whatever. Bye.